Alright, hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Casey, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a reading all about how to overcome whatever challenge or struggle or problem that you're currently dealing with. Maybe it's you're in a bad environment and you need to find a way out. Maybe it's certain people or energies around you that you need to cleanse yourself of. Or it could be that, maybe this isn't something that can be changed, but what tools can I give you or what advice can I give you that'll help you better learn to live with whatever challenge this is? How can you fix this issue within yourself? So, today I have 3 different readings for you to choose from. We have pile 1 with the blue lace agate, pile 2 with the crazy lace agate, and pile 3 with the rose quartz. So, go ahead and pause. Figure out which reading you feel most drawn to. I've left timestamps down in the description box below so you can quickly jump to whichever reading you want to listen to. But without further ado, that's all that I have to say. Go ahead and enjoy your reading. Alright, pile 1. If you chose the blue lace agate, then this is going to be the reading for you. And the way that we're doing this is the top row is all about what struggle are you currently dealing with. The past is how did this develop? Where did it originate from? The present is how are you dealing with this challenge right now? How is it showing up in your life? And the future is how is this problem developing? Is it going away or is it going to change in some way? And the bottom is how can you overcome this challenge or learn to live with whatever struggle you're going through? And this final card right here is going to be what advice you need to hear about this current problem, specifically advice from your spirit guides. So, getting into it. With what struggle you're going through right now, I see with the moon reversed, this makes me think that you've been dealing with a lot of fears and insecurity about whatever you're working on right now. I feel like this reading in particular for pile 1 specifically pertains to your career or a passion project, or maybe your career is a passion project, something like a business that you started yourself, or maybe you decided to start making your own homemade goods, or you want to produce a certain thing and it's a creative aspect of yourself. But you're really afraid that people aren't going to like it, or your work isn't going to resonate with people, or it's going to fail. And you've had this nagging feeling at the back of your mind because maybe other people told you this. Maybe you opened up to people about, this passion that you have or this idea of a business that you want to start, and people shut it down. They're like, that's a horrible idea, or that's never going to work out. And a part of you, pushed those thoughts away and was like, well, that's just other people's thoughts. But at the same time, you haven't been fully able to let go of these things that people said. You've had this nagging fear that whatever you're going to start is going to fail. You don't have the ability to make it succeed. And with the present right now, I see you've been working towards this thing. You've been creating what you want to create. You've been trying to push things out there. I think especially if you're doing something on social media, like this, for example, you've been pushing your content out there, but people don't seem to connect to it right away. You haven't blown up yet, is what I see. Whether it's online or it's like your business, it hasn't yet had the recognition that it deserves. And I feel like you've been taking this really personally. And it's almost been like this confirmation that what everybody said about you was right. What they said about your passion was right. It's not meant to succeed. And you have these fears dominating you. Whereas when I look at the 7 of Pentacles, I see that you're looking at these beautiful pentacles, these things that you've created, and they're just as beautiful as they would have been whether 1 million people recognized it or no one recognized it. But the fact that it hasn't blown up yet, it hasn't been successful yet, you're looking at it with disdain. It's like you're not able to recognize the worth that this thing already has. It's like you feel like the worth needs to come from an outside source, like you need other people to approve of it for it to seem good. When in reality, this thing came from a place of your heart. This is your creative energy manifested in real life, and it's right in front of you. It's like if you were really into pottery and you wanted to make a store for you were going to make cups and mugs and bowls and stuff, and it's all like pottery that you created. When you do it as a passion project, it doesn't matter who's looking at it, who's judging it, or who wants to buy it, because you made it for yourself. You made it because you enjoy it. But I think now that you're trying to turn it into a career, if that's what you're trying to do, or you're trying to push it out there, the fact that people haven't yet recognized it, you're now looking at these same objects as if they're ugly. You're looking at this beautiful pottery that you've made and you're disappointed in it. You're wondering why it has no worth. And the truth is, it's not that it doesn't have worth. It's that you feel like that worth needs to come from an outside source. You can't enjoy the beauty that you've created unless other people are enjoying it too. And you have these fears at the back of your mind from words that other people said to you about it, like, it's not going to work out, or this thing is no good, you should just give up. Those are other people's fears. Those are the words of people that have never taken a chance on something that they loved in their life. People that have never taken a risk. So why should you listen to them? You are out here putting yourself on a limb, doing something that is incredibly vulnerable, putting your creative work out into the world and just hoping that people will like it. It's incredibly vulnerable. So why should you trust the words of people that have never gone through something like that? People that have never taken a risk like that, never made themselves vulnerable. What worth do their words have to you? All it's done is instill these fears in your mind that what you want to do isn't going to work out. And what I see here is maybe things haven't blown up yet. Maybe people don't see it yet. But this worth, lots of people will love it. It's just a matter of when they find it. It's already complete. You see these pentacles, they've already grown to fruition on this vine. Like, let me hold it up so you can see it closer. These pentacles are ready to be bought. They're ready to be loved. They look beautiful. They're shining gold. They're abundant. And you're creating so many of them, but you're looking at them with disdain because nobody's bought them yet. It's like you feel like they're worthless until somebody buys them. But I'm here to tell you that if people were buying them, it's not because they're different. You've made them exactly the way that they are. It's just that, people have seen them and have seen their worth in them. So I feel like you're stuck here thinking that your work is no good, when in reality, it's perfectly fine. It just hasn't blown up yet. And what I see in the future of this problem is, I feel like before you came to this video, for a while now you've had this nagging thought or this idea that you should give up. And I see that these fears that you have where people have told you in the past it's not going to work out, it's kept you up at night, and it's made you so afraid that you're going to have to give up on your dream because this is your passion, this is what you want for your life. And you're getting so close to this point where you just want to throw in the towel because you feel like it's never going to get the recognition that it deserves. But I'm here to tell you that I need you to hold on a little bit longer. Because what I see with this Four of Swords reversed is a part of you does not want to give up yet. You're not ready to throw in the towel. You still have that spark inside of you that wants to be expressed. Whatever it is that you're putting out into the world, you're meant to put it out for a reason. You're meant to create this thing that you're creating because I think it's going to be really beneficial to other people. Even if it's just art, like it's something that people are going to love and people are going to connect with. And it has a purpose for existing in this world. This is something that wants to be manifested in this world, and it wants to be manifested through you. You are the person that was chosen to have this desire to do this thing because you are the best possible person to create it. And I feel like if you give up, something that I've heard about is like ideas choose a person to create them. And the person can choose to either manifest this idea into reality, create this thing, because they have a desire to create it, because they were chosen to create it. But if they don't, that idea is just going to move on to someone else. But the reason that this idea found you, the reason that you have this desire, is because right now you are the best possible person to create this thing that you want to create. You are the best possible person to bring it to fruition. And there is a reason why you feel so drawn to doing this. And so I don't want you to give up just yet. I want you to hold on a little bit longer. Believe that it can be possible because I see how much you've created already and how beautiful it is. It just needs more time for people to find it because it's not going to happen right away. Maybe it'll be something where it blows up overnight, or maybe it's something where it takes like a year for it to grow. But I feel like if you were to give up, it would be a strong disservice to yourself because a part of you still wants to keep going. So unless you no longer have a desire to fulfill this thing, don't give up. If there's no longer a passion there, then maybe it's not what you're meant to do. But if you still feel that piece of your heart that doesn't want to let go of this thing, that still wants it to succeed, don't give up just yet. And so what I see for how you can overcome these fears, how you can overcome this current struggle that you're going through, doubting this thing, being afraid that you're going to have to give up, you have intuition, rest, and isolation. And intuition is a big one. I think you're being called to connect back to your spiritual beliefs. That, I think that you started this thing not just because you had a passion for it, but because you thought that this could be your purpose. It's connected to your life purpose. And you're being asked by your guides to connect back to that feeling, to connect back to this alignment, that this is what you're meant to do here on this earth, that this is something that is important to your mission here on earth. Because when you start to forget about this being your purpose, or this being something that you're passionate about, you just start putting in the work, and you start to get bored, or you start to get sad when things don't get recognized, instead of just having that intrinsic value where you enjoy doing it just because you enjoy doing it. You enjoy creating because you enjoy creating, not for that extrinsic value of you're creating it just for someone else to enjoy it. You know what I mean? So try to find value in what you're doing again. Try to connect back to why it makes you happy. And something that I heard the other day that was really good is, if you're not good at connecting to your emotions, like you can't tell if something makes you happy or if something makes you sad, try to tell when something makes you energized. Because when something is your, quote unquote purpose, or when something you're really passionate about, when you do it, you're not going to leave feeling exhausted or like dead. You're going to feel energized because you have that energy and that passion running through you. So if you're like, oh, I can't tell if it makes me happy, just try to see, do you feel energized afterwards? Do you feel like a better person afterwards? Because that's when you'll know that this is your true passion. And with rest, I feel like there's also a message here that you've been working really hard to make this thing succeed. You've been, for example, with the pottery example, you're churning out all these different pots, all these different things, and you feel like just because it hasn't been recognized yet, that you're not doing enough work. And I feel like if it was being recognized, if things were being bought, you would know. You'd be like, okay, I deserve a break, things are working. You would recognize your hard work. But like I said, unless somebody else is putting value in it, you don't see the value in it. Right now, because it's not being recognized, it hasn't blown up yet, you think that you're not doing hard work, but you have been. And I think your soul is tired. It needs a break. And I don't mean it needs you to give up, but you should be taking some more time to prioritize yourself. Prioritize getting your energy back, centering yourself, grounding yourself, just taking some time to, take a nap. And if you don't have time to take a nap, allow yourself to just go outside and take a walk just because. Let yourself do things that you find fun, like read or play video games or watch a TV show without feeling guilty about it. Because it's important to have that rest aspect of things, because if you're constantly just, work without any rest, you're gonna burn yourself out. And I feel like a big reason that you're also getting to this point where you feel like giving up is because you haven't been giving yourself enough time to recharge. And when you get to this level where you're about to burn out, it also makes you think that what you're doing isn't worth it. When in reality, it's just time for you to allow yourself to relax again. Allow yourself to reconnect to your body. Allow yourself to calm down, to re-energize yourself, Maybe just take one day out of the week to have a self-care day, at least. A day where you allow yourself to DoorDash, for instance, take the pressure off, allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to do that face mask, and spend some time watching some show that doesn't have any purpose except for making you laugh. Because those things are necessary. Those aren't just time wasters. Because when you can center yourself, when you can get that energy back, you're able to return to whatever this purpose is with more passion and more energy that will benefit this thing in turn. So think of it as it's a productive thing. It's not a time waster. And it's also very essential to maintaining yourself, especially if you're trying to go after something like this. And finally, with this isolation card here, I think that there's this could go both ways. So for some of you, you're either in isolation right now, or you're not. You're constantly surrounded by people and you're needing some isolation. And the thing that I want to say about isolation and loneliness, if you're feeling lonely, is it's not a permanent state. I feel like for some of you, if you've been in isolation working on this thing, you're afraid that you're not going to ever have people around you again. You're afraid that you're not going to be able to reconnect with people because you've been in this isolation state for so long. Like you've had to be to make this thing succeed. And what I want to say is something I heard the other day was the universe doesn't benefit by keeping us in isolation all the time. Because some of the best teachers that we can have are other people. Some of the greatest lessons that we learn are from other people. And so if we were to just be kept in isolation forever, that's not benefiting everyone. But when we are in isolation, there's a reason for it. So instead of seeing isolation as just a period of time where you're lonely or you're stuck and you're never going to get out of it, see it as this is a time that you can connect to yourself. This is a time that you can grow yourself, that you can grow your hobbies, that you can energize yourself and focus on your needs, your goals, and your desires. Because when we're meant to be manifesting a certain goal, or working towards a career, or starting a business, you kind of have to take time away from people because you can't just constantly be going out. You can't constantly be focusing on other things because this is the time that you need to focus on what it is that you want to create. And for some of you, it's like, yes, you need this physical time alone to create this business or whatever. But for some of you, you need this physical time alone to grow and change your own mindset, to discover who you are, discover your goals and your passions, and figure out a way that you want to work towards them without, exterior distractions. So when you're in this period of isolation, when you're feeling lonely, I want you to remember that, first of all, it's not forever, because there will be a time where you're meant to meet other people, when you're meant to be around other people, because it's for a reason. But right now, you're meant to be in isolation so that you can further whatever this project is, so that you can devote all your time, energy, and focus onto it to make it succeed. So see it as a good thing, not just, oh God, I'm alone and I'm never going to be around anyone else, because that's not the way that it is. So I hope that all makes sense. I have this one final card, which is the advice card from your spirit guides, and I'll hold it up to you. I don't know if black panthers are like a spirit animal to you, or maybe it's like an important sign that you see around a lot. But also another thing to note about this is the number 33. That is a master number, but it's also just, maybe that's your lucky number, or maybe you'll start seeing it around more after this video. So, number 33, nourish the shadow. Jaguar represents the shadow, the subconscious aspects of ourselves we push away. Carl Jung says these aspects usually stem from situations we encountered as children that led us to feel shame, unworthiness, and abandonment. We then live out these programmed beliefs as adults. Jaguar comes to speak to us about nourishing our shadow. In this image, we see her drinking from the well of wholeness. The well in this image, inspired by Jungian analyst Marion Woodman, is our place of nourishment and absolute wholeness. Water is where all life comes from. Without it, we have no vitality. Many of us ignore and starve our shadow aspects because they cause us so much pain. We push them away and deeply criticize them. We chain our jaguar shadow and confine her to the furthest part of the backyard of our minds. She howls and cries for nourishment, yet we still ignore her. In her banishment, because of the lack of love, her power grows as the master of self-sabotage. Ironically, if you would begin a relationship with her, you'd find that she is your greatest asset and leads to fulfilling your life's purpose. Funny that we instinctively banish her. Jaguar's medicine asks you to create a self-talk relationship with yourself and to ride the wave of hurt within. Every time a painful feeling arises, you now must tell yourself, I'm right here to feel this with you. I accept this uncomfortable feeling and I will ride it out with you. I am here to feel this with you. If you do this, the emotion will always detox out and dissipate, leading to a much quicker healing. But you must be strong and endure the pain. Commit to riding the waves of emotion together within yourself. This is the nourishment your Jaguar Shadow requests. If you witness her, she will start showing you a new and indestructible power within. Your shadow is where your diamond lives. Alright, so that is everything that I have for you. Sorry I had to take a pause there. I'm sure you can still hear the vacuum in the background, but I hope it wasn't too loud at the end of the reading so that you could hear everything. But Pile 1, that is everything that I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated. And if you're looking for more readings like this, I have a ton more on my channel, all about like why you doubt yourself, how to build confidence, what career is right for you. So if you're interested in readings like those, feel free to check out the ones on my page. And if you like what I do, I post about twice a week, so feel free to subscribe and stick around. And if you're looking for a reading on your specific situation, I do offer private readings. There's a link down in the description box below to my shop. But that's everything that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Alright, Pile 2. If you chose the Crazy Lace Agate, then this is going to be the reading for you. And I'm going to start this off by looking at the past, present, and future of whatever challenge it is that you've gone through. So the past being, like, where did this originate from? How did this problem start? The present being, how is this current issue manifesting itself in your life right now? How is it affecting you? What's going on with it? And the future being, what direction is this problem taking you in? Is it going to be resolved, or is it leading to, another issue or problem? Is it leading you in a different direction? And then in the bottom, we're looking at what can you do to overcome this? Is it like a mindset that you need to change? Maybe it's your perspective, or maybe you need to physically change like where you are right now. So that's what we're going to be looking at. And starting off with how this problem or challenge originated for you. You have the Three of Wands reversed. And what I think that your problem or challenge that you're dealing with is right now is you always had an idea of something that you wanted to go after. Like, for instance, something that's coming to mind right now is you grew up in a small town. Everybody had a certain idea for what your life was supposed to look like, but you always dreamed of like moving to the big city. Or maybe you had an idea like you want to go to a certain school, but your parents always wanted you to go to this school nearby. Or this is kind of like a very small example for some of you, like I'm sure not the majority of you are dealing with this, but maybe like you're gay or something, and for your family or the people that you lived around, that was really not accepted. But the current like common thread that I see for Pile 2 is all of you had this certain thing that you wanted to be able to do, a place that you wanted to go to, a certain life that you wanted to lead, but there was people around you that always held you back. And I feel like for some of you, it could have been a parent. I specifically get like a father figure, but if it's not a father, it could have been somebody that had a lot of control over your life. It could even be a mother. And this person held you back, told you that this thing that you wanted to go after was wrong or bad or scary, or that you would get hurt, because I feel like they told you that they wanted to protect you. They were just looking out for you. They know that this thing is going to hurt you and they want what's best for you. And so it was kind of like with this Three of Wands, you were looking at this bright future and you wanted to move towards it. But since it's reversed, it's like you were told that that bright future is actually a danger. It's not a good thing to go towards. And so you were always kept in this safe, secluded little bubble where you stuck to the things that people wanted you to do, what people wanted for you. But there was always a part of you that still wanted to go out and do this thing, that wanted to move to this big city or wanted to go to that school far away, wanted to pursue your own dreams. And what I'm seeing for, this problem right now, I feel like right now it's come to a head where you've realized all that time that person didn't really want what was best for you. They were trying to protect themselves. Maybe they didn't know how to live without you. Maybe they relied on you and they didn't want you to leave. So they tricked you. Like the Seven of Swords reversed is all about lies coming to the surface when you finally figure out the truth of somebody's deception. And what I see is like, for example, I'm getting, that scene in movies, it's like a trope where these two people are separated, specifically on like romance things. These two people are separated and this one person is always sending letters to the person that they had to leave behind, but then like the mom or something is hiding the letters so that the person doesn't realize that the person still cares about them. And so instead they remain apart. And what I see is like, for example, let's say the guy is the one that was sending the letters. You think that this guy moved on, he doesn't truly care about you, but in reality, the mom was deceiving you. She was keeping the truth from you. And what I see is whatever it is that you've been wanting to go towards your whole life, whatever direction you've been wanting to go in, you're always told that it was bad, or it's unobtainable, or you have a responsibility here at home. You can't leave, you can't do this thing. But then it all comes to a head. You discover the letters, or you discover the deception, and all of a sudden it's like, you didn't want what was best for me. You wanted what was best for you. This entire time you were deceiving me. And I see that that's the current problem that you're going through, is you've suddenly realized there was this deception and this big lie all throughout your life, especially pertaining to somebody that you care about. Like I said, like a parent, somebody that you looked up to, somebody that you looked to for protection. Or maybe it was a friend, somebody that you really cared about who was holding you back. And I feel like this person held you back because they didn't want to lose you. They were scared to be on their own. But it was also not their place. It was very selfish. They didn't let you follow your dreams. They didn't let you go after what it is you wanted to go after because of their own selfish desires. And in the future, the way that I see this developing is you're going to have some kind of confrontation with them, if you hadn't already, where you tell them that you know that what they've been saying is a lie, that you know that they've been deceiving you. And with the Emperor reversed, I see that whatever power that they had over you, they're no longer going to have. You're going to be releasing yourself from the control that they had over you. They're no longer going to, their lies aren't going to be something that you believe anymore because you know that they're false. And with Temperance, you're now in this state where you can think for yourself. You can decide what you want to do. But at the same time, I feel like it's a little heartbreaking because yes, you're mad at this person for lying to you, for trying to dictate your life, for trying to keep you stuck in a box. But at the same time, this was somebody that you cared about. So it's tricky because you're going to be losing this person, or at least needing to put up boundaries between you and this person. And it's also just a break in the trust that you had with them. And when this kind of trust breaks, you can repair the relationship, but there's always going to be a crack there that's never going to be fully removed. And what I see for how you can overcome this problem, you have illumination, confidence, and sadness. And I want to start with sadness here because I think it's important, because now that this relationship has been broken in some way, even if this person is still in your life, even if you're not fully kicking them out of your life, there's a new set of boundaries here, and there's a lack of trust here. And I want you to know that it's okay to mourn this relationship. Even though they did you dirty, even though they did something wrong to you and they hurt you, it's okay to still be sad and upset. It's okay to still care for them. And it's also okay to be happy, because it's a bad situation all around, but now you can be true to yourself. Now that you know there's nothing holding you back from chasing after what it is that you want and going to the place that you want, doing what you want to do. There's nothing holding you back anymore. So it's okay to be happy about that, even though at the same time it had to come at the expense of this relationship breaking in some way. And like I said, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel the feelings that you're feeling about this break, about this change in this relationship. Don't try to stifle any of them. Don't let yourself not be happy for having freedom, but don't also force yourself to not be sad about mourning this relationship, because you shouldn't care about this person, because you shouldn't be, feeling sorry for them, because it's a very nuanced thing. This isn't black and white. It's not like somebody is objectively in the wrong. It was just, it was wrong, but it's deeper than that. It was a hurt person hurting someone else. They were scared. They didn't want to get hurt. So they kept you from doing what you wanted. And yeah, they should not have done that. It was extremely selfish. I do not condone that kind of behavior. But it's still something that they did because they were scared. It's still something that they did because they loved you. And so it is a very nuanced situation that you have here. And the biggest thing is I want you to know it's okay to feel however you're feeling. Do not feel guilty about feeling a certain way about things. And with illumination and confidence, this is also going to be a really bright time in your life, because this thing that you've always been wanting to go after, this new place you've been wanting to live, maybe you've been wanting to leave behind your hometown, maybe you've been wanting to spread your wings and be your own person, you now have that. So it's okay to look towards this brighter future. It's like with this illumination card being right under the Three of Wands, you literally see how they're mirroring each other if I hold them up. The Three of Wands, there was this bright future that was illuminated, but you were closed off from it, and now it's unlocked again. You see this archway that you can now pass through, and it's like that thing that you longed for, you can now go after it. So allow yourself to go for it. Allow yourself to make that leap, because this is something you desire for a reason. There is something out there for you to discover. There's something out there for you to pursue, because you're meant to do so. All right, and with the confidence card, I feel like, yes, this is something that you're very passionate about. It's something that you've always wanted to go after. And I say, I'm keeping it very general because this is a general reading. I think for all of you, it's going to be slightly different. For some of you, this is a certain project you wanted to do. For others, it's a school you wanted to go to. For others, maybe you wanted to move away, like to a different country. Whatever it is, there was this box that you've been kept in for a long time. People have always told you not to leave it because it's safe in the box, but you've always had this longing for more. And now you're finally getting that opportunity to have more, to go after that thing that you've wanted. You no longer have people holding you back, because you know that they were trying to hold you back for all the wrong reasons, and none of those reasons were the truth. So this thing isn't actually bad for you. It's not actually scary. There's nothing inherently wrong with going after it. And now you have the freedom to go after it. But I feel like a part of you is scared, because what if some of those things that they were saying were true? What if it all fails? What if I leave and I do get hurt? What if something goes wrong and I don't have these people to support me there? What if they were right all along? And so you're being asked to have confidence in yourself. For a long time, this idea of wanting to go a certain place or do a certain thing has been put down. And you've finally been able to break out of that. You've finally been able to give the opportunity to go for it. And I feel like a part of you is still a little bit hesitant, but it's time to just take that leap of faith. Allow yourself to feel the confidence towards going towards this thing, because there's something out there that you're meant to do. There's something that you're meant to connect with. There's people that you're meant to meet. There's a purpose for you out there that you can't find where you are right now. You need to take that leap of faith. Go towards that thing that you're passionate about and do it, because you desire this thing for a reason. You desire it because there is a thing for you to accomplish. There is something within you that wants to be created through you. There's something that wants to be manifested in this reality from your creative energy. And so you are the only one that is able to do this. You just need to take that leap of faith. Continue to have that confidence and follow what makes you feel right, what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel passionate. And if you're not able to connect to your emotions as well, and you're like, well, I don't know if it truly makes me happy, I want you to ask yourself, when you do this thing, when you think about this thing, does it make you feel drained or does it make you feel energized? Because if it makes you feel energized, full of energy, full of adrenaline, wanting to continue to do this more, that's when you know it's right. That's when you know that this is the thing that you are meant to do. And so pile one, I have one final card for you here. And it says, small steps, big accomplishments. And it has this turtle, the sea turtle on it. So sea turtles could be an important animal around you. Maybe you see them often. Maybe they have some meaning for you. Let me get it to focus so you can see it. If it will focus, oh my goodness. So yeah, like I said, the sea turtle could be an important spirit animal for you. So if you start seeing this animal a lot after hearing this reading, it could be because there was a message here that you're meant to think back on. So if you start seeing sea turtles after hearing this reading, it could be you need to go back, re-listen to it, and rehear this message that you're about to hear, because it could be important. Especially with the number 8, if you start seeing the number 8 or 888 around a lot. So number 8. Small steps, big accomplishments. Sea turtles migrate thousands of miles each year while swimming at a slow, methodical pace. The key medicine is that what you wish to manifest will take dedicated, consistent, and patient effort. Land turtle reinforces this message about the slow process towards your desire, further speaking to us about how grounded this point of view is. Nothing represents being grounded quite like the land turtle, built sturdy and close to Mother Earth. Small, consistent efforts will lead to long-lasting success. Be patient. Do not rush for immediate rewards. Understand that immediate gratification cannot sustain what is needed for long-term success. Shortcuts yield short-term success, and instant gratification is for the weak mind. Sea turtle is not instantly born in the sea, swimming towards his goal. He must first build his muscles by slowly breaking out of the shell and journeying towards his desire to be in the grand sea. Allow things to develop at their own pace and plan for a lengthy dedication towards your goal. This is a very promising card as it speaks to happy results. You are building something great, and its full fruition needs time. Turtle's medicine shares that slow and steady efforts are the most important to you. Something powerful is in development. What is built slowly stands longer. So, pile 2. That is everything that I have for you today. I hope that this reading didn't sound too weird. I have a lot of cuts here and there because I feel like there's just a lot going on in the background. And it was a little hard for me to focus, but I hope you understood the message that I was trying to convey. I really hope that this resonates with you and it helps you. And if you're looking for more videos like this, whether it be about career, your purpose, what doubts you're feeling, I do have a lot of other readings like that on my channel. So if you enjoy what I do, feel free to check those out. And if you want to stick around, feel free to subscribe because I do post about twice a week. And if you're looking for a reading about your personal situation, I do provide those. There's a link down in the description box below to my shop. But that's everything that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Alright, pile 3. Last but certainly not least, if you chose the rose quartz, then this is going to be the reading for you. And first of all, something really interesting is all of these cards down here you can see are purple. And if you look at this, like this is the deck that it came from, there's like in total like what, 4 or 5 out of however many cards there are that are purple. And all 3 that the ones that you got are purple, and that seems very significant to me. That might be a significant color to you. Maybe it's your favorite color, or maybe recently you've been very drawn to purple things, whether realizing it or not. Like maybe you've really been craving purple grapes, for example. It's kind of like a weird example, but purple, I looked it up, and the purple chakra is actually the crown chakra, which has to do with our connection to divine, our connection to our spirituality, our belief in a higher power, our trust in the universe. But there's also some online that say that the third eye is also purple, but I don't really know. I just know like color symbolism, and the third eye has to do with intuition. It has to do with inner belief, that gut feeling that you get about certain things, trusting yourself. And those two together, I feel like kind of fall in line. They're not super different. So basically what I want to say is I feel like your recent challenges that you're going through, whatever it is that you're trying to overcome, a big way that you will learn how to overcome that is by trusting your own inner power, trusting your own intuition. And you're also going to be developing a deeper sense of like spiritual connection to the universe or to your spirit guides, or maybe getting deeper in a specific religion. I don't know what kind of religion you ascribe to, but I don't know. For example, maybe you get more into witchcraft, or maybe you're a Christian even. Maybe you get more into tarot and learning about yourself, learning about your own intuitive gifts, learning about the divine. That is going to be a big thing that I sense for you in the future, especially moving through whatever this issue is. So I just wanted to point that out off the bat, because it's very rare that you get all these cards of the same color, and when that shows up, I think it's kind of significant. So especially if you've had trouble, I don't know if you've ever worked with chakras before, but it might be something that you want to get into, because your crown and your third eye chakra might be blocked. And basically what that means is we have like 7 different chakras in the body. I'm no expert, but from what I've learned, we have 7 different ones. And I like to think of them more as parts of the psyche that, you know, are either blocked or unhappy for some reason. And the crown has to do with, you know, your sense of spirituality, your connection to the divine, your belief in a higher power, your belief that you're in tune with your purpose. When you're really in tune with your purpose, you know, that chakra is balanced. The third eye has to do with your intuition. When it's very open, you're very in tune with that side of yourself. There's the throat chakra, which when it's open, communication is easy. You're speaking your heart and your truth. The heart chakra, allows, when it's open and balanced, is all about like being able to feel unconditional love for people and things, etc., etc. It keeps going down more. There's like self-empowerment and grounding, connection to your desires, but the two most prominent ones for you have to do with your intuition and your sense of spirituality. And I believe that you connecting back to those is going to help you overcome this issue. So getting into what this issue is, the way that I'm doing this is I'm looking at the past, present, and future of whatever this problem or challenge is. The past being, where did this issue originate from? How did it start? Is there a specific event, or, where did it originate from? And the present is how it's currently manifesting in your reality. What is it causing problems for? In what ways is it a setback to you? In what ways is it challenging you? And the future is how this problem or issue is going to be affecting you in the future, the way that it's developing. Are you getting over it, or is it manifesting in a different way? And then, of course, these two final cards are just going to be a piece of advice from your spirit guides that you need to hear. But what I'm seeing for you, I think that this specific issue, it developed at a very young age. With the past, pile 1 and pile 2, their issues were, things that happened not that long ago that are affecting them in their life right now. But for you, I feel like these are deep wounds that you've carried for a long time. I think that specifically with the Six of Pentacles reversed, I get this sense that when you were younger, you had to learn how to take care of yourself at a young age. I almost get this sense that people, specifically parents or those that were supposed to be taking care of you, thought that you having needs was kind of annoying. This is a weird analogy that's coming to mind, but it's like when people get a dog because they think it'd be like cute. As I say that, there's a dog barking outside very loudly. Let me close the window. Okay, so like I was saying with the analogy, what I imagine is it's like people that get a dog and they don't actually want to take care of it. They don't want to put in the work to comfort it and feed it and stuff. They just like the idea of it. They like the idea of having this cute thing around, and they thought it was a good idea, but they didn't put a lot of thought into the work it would actually take to raise this animal. And for you, as a child, I feel like your parents didn't understand what it takes to raise a human being and bring up a human being in this world. The fact that humans have their own needs, that a child isn't just an object to be picked up and then cast aside whenever you want. And I feel like you didn't have caretakers in your life at a young age that would take care of all of your needs. And so at a young age, you had to learn how to take care of them for yourself. And you became very self-sufficient. You figured out how to go about life without the help of others, but you still didn't have that emotional care that was necessary. So you grew up to be a very smart, very self-reliant, very self-empowered kind of person that sees what they want, can go after it. They're very disciplined, but you have a hard time wrestling with emotions. I feel like there's a lot of emotional trauma within you that is very blocked, that needs to be unraveled and worked on. And I feel like a very important thing that you're about to get into to overcome these feelings is inner child work. And I think a really good way that you can start learning about how to heal childhood trauma or inner child wounds is through shadow work, which is basically it's like journal prompts where you ask yourself questions to understand yourself better, to understand why you think the way you do, why you act the way you do, why you have bad reactions to certain things, why certain things trigger you. It's not an inherently spiritual thing, shadow work, but I encourage you to kind of discover this for yourself, maybe look them up. I've never used this app before, but I know that it has shadow work journal prompts in it, and it's 100% free. Not sponsored, by the way, but I've heard of it, that it can be really useful. I think it's called Positive Focus on the App Store, and it has a section for journal prompts like those. So if that's something that you've been thinking about doing, maybe you've heard people talking about shadow work before, it might be beneficial to you to kind of check that out, maybe see if any of those resonate with you, because I think it'll be very beneficial to unlocking those past trauma, the past wounds, so that you can heal them. Because I feel like for a long time, you've been in survival mode, where you've been able to get yourself out of situations, you've been able to take care of yourself this long because you had to. But now that you're getting to a point in life where you're not constantly in survival mode, you have to learn how to be a normal human being that can process emotions, that can maintain relationships. And you've had a hard time opening up to people, being vulnerable with them, being honest and truthful about who you are, what you care about, because this is what you've had to deal with for so long. And until you can solve those past childhood wounds, you're not going to be able to properly connect to others. And I feel like I get a sense of longing for connection for you. Like you want to connect to other people, be it like you want deeper friendships, friends that actually feel like family, that connect deeply to you, care about you unconditionally. Or maybe it's like you've been wanting a significant other, but you find it hard to maintain relationships after a certain amount of time because they require you to open up, they require you to be vulnerable, and you're not sure if you're ready to do that. And what I see with the future of the way that this problem or challenge is developing, you have the Six of Cups reversed. And the Six of Cups reversed has to do with reminiscing or thinking back on childhood or past things that have gone on, being stuck on them. Like usually if this card is upright, you see it as like nostalgia, like thinking fondly on the past, but with it reversed, it's like you're almost stuck there. There's something that you can't move on from. So I want you to take some time, think about like if you've had any prominent dreams about your younger self or a past memory, or you've been having past memories come up, instead of like pushing them away or brushing them off, I want you to sit with them, think about them deeply, maybe even journal about them and say, why is this coming up? Is there something about this that connects to what's going on in my reality right now? Is there a reason that this is coming back? Is there something that's unsolved trauma or an unsolved issue that is regarding this past experience that I went through? Because, like I said, if you're doing inner child work, that's basically what it is. Thinking back on these childhood wounds or these wounds that you've had for a long time and thinking about how to rectify them, how to overcome them, learn to live with them or let them go. And with these bottom cards, all the purple ones, being about how you can overcome this problem, this feeling of insecurity, this inability to be vulnerable. You have magic, faith, and creativity. And like I said at the beginning, with purple relating to the third eye and the crown chakra having to do with spirituality and intuition, magic and faith, I feel like kind of have to do with that too. So if spirituality is something that you've been wanting to get into, or maybe you've always been a spiritual person, but you have kind of like disconnected from that or not focused on it as deeply, I feel like your guides or the universe is asking you to come back to that a little bit, because it's a great method for discovering yourself. You're going through this self-help journey, going through this healing journey, connecting to your intuition and your spirituality. Something that's even coming back to mind right now is tarot or divination of any kind, really. I don't know if you've ever thought about practicing tarot, or even if it's not practicing tarot yourself, maybe going to a tarot reader that you really trust. Not trying to plug myself here, I'm sure you guys listen to other tarot readings, I'm sure this isn't the first one, but reaching out in some way and asking a question about what this problem is, trying to dig deeper about it, figure out how to solve it, figure out exactly what issue this originated from, because that is a great tool to uncover what the deeper meaning behind these things is, and a great tool to heal these things, especially if you want to do tarot on your own. Because like another thing that's coming to mind is I don't know if you know what Rorschach tests are. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's like those ink blots on a page and the therapist holds it up and it's like, tell me what you see here. And you're not supposed to see one thing or another, but what you say reveals something about your psyche. The way that you interpret things says something about what it means to you. Like this Queen of Swords card, for example. I can look at this and have a completely different interpretation than another person because I'm coming at it from my perspective, from my life experiences. And the way that I interpret it says something about who I am as a person, what my values are. And so you getting into tarot, the way that you interpret things, or you interpret art, or you interpret certain things, like a Rorschach test, would tell you a lot about who you are, why do you think the way that you do. And I feel like you're being asked to really delve deep into this because there is some sort of blockage within you that needs to be unblocked. Like, I'm imagining a river with a dam, and the dam is made up of all this like garbage and trash that's been caught along the way. And I feel like that is unresolved baggage within you. And you've gotten to this point in life where the river is no longer flowing because there's too much baggage in the river. And the only way that you can continue to flow and progress through life is unblocking all that. And you need to face the baggage to remove it. So I feel like I'm kind of reiterating the same point. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. But I think a big way that you can overcome it is using your own intuition, delving into your own psyche, and maybe even connecting back to your spiritual practices. Magic specifically, like I said, divination could be a great way to do so, like tarot reading, for example. And with the creativity card, maybe even art is like an outlet for you. Maybe you love to do art when you were younger, or maybe you've been feeling an urge to get back into it as like a form of self-expression. It's like a way to get out that creative energy from within you. And I feel like even though you're not expecting to like figure it out from like painting a painting, I feel like when you get in tune with that creative energy, when you allow it to start flowing, things will start to come up like out of nowhere. Like something I'm getting is when people play like certain puzzle games or something and like let their mind go kind of like numb and they're solving these things, random thoughts start to come up, like random memories and stuff. Or like when people work out, especially working out or running, is a great way to kind of like, you're keeping your body focused on a specific task, and because of that, different memories and things will start to come up in your brain out of nowhere. Like downloads is the word that I was looking for. If you know what like spiritual or mental downloads are, it's when you suddenly get this random information coming to you. So for example, like I said, if you've been having certain memories come back out of nowhere that are kind of just popping up, maybe like going on a run, or if you have a treadmill and you can just run, that's a great way to kind of like put your body in an almost trance so that you can kind of quiet your mind and allow things to be received by your mind. Because the way that intuition works is things come to you. Things are downloaded into your mind. Like with reading the tarot cards, I have to be open in a state of receiving. I'm not forcing a specific message or idea. I'm not concentrating super deep on the cards to create my own idea of what they say. I have to look at them and allow the messages to come to me. And I feel like that is a great way that you can discover what these memories are trying to tell you, what these dreams are trying to tell you, what your body is trying to tell you, by allowing yourself to sit back and receive the messages. So last, but certainly not least, I feel like that was kind of quick, but I could just keep talking and it would be the same thing over and over again with different analogies. But, just to recap, I feel like your main message is you're a very strong person physically and mentally, but emotionally, there's a lot of blockages within you that still need to be resolved, specifically from childhood issues. And the way that you can resolve them is by facing them fully, removing those blockages, unloading the baggage, recognizing it instead of shoving it further down, and learning to deal with it and let it go. Especially through divination, spiritual work, or, like I said, meditation. But meditation doesn't necessarily need to be like sitting still or laying down. It can be when you're running, when your body is busy and your mind is at peace. That's when you can get that information. So, last but not least, I have these two cards. Usually I just get one, but you got two come out. And they're pieces of advice that you need to hear from your spirit guides specifically. So, you have Immense Growth, which is number 15, with the vulture. So vultures could be a spirit animal for you. This could be an important sign that you see often if you start seeing a lot of vultures. It could be a sign to come back to this reading and listen to what this card has to say. Specifically, the number 15 at the bottom could also be a sign for you. And then we also have Victory, number 40, with a falcon. So falcons could also be important to you, or the number 40. But starting off with the vulture, number 15. Vulture comes to speak to us about the wisdom of the sacredness of suffering. In Buddhism, the first noble truth is that all life involves suffering. It is not something to be escaped, but to be accepted. Only when we accept this law of our existence are we able to transmute and grow from suffering. Vulture sustains her life by living off that which is dead. She does not interfere by bringing a quicker death to her prey. Instead, she allows it to endure what it must, and its suffering ends in its natural time. This mirrors back to us the importance of patience. There is a profound lesson in the name of the turkey vulture. Cathartes aura, meaning golden purifier. They indeed purify the landscapes by removing the decomposing carcasses that could spread disease and harmful bacteria. In the same way vulture cleanses the land, suffering purifies the heart from and removes the veils of ego. Suffering comes in two forms. Both are meant for growth. The first form is inflicted upon us and out of our control. The second form is self-inflicted, created from the attachments and illusions of our ego. Whatever form your own suffering takes, you must first accept it. When we resist the pain, when we resist aspects of ourselves we do not like, when we resist rejection, we perpetuate self-inflicted suffering. It is only when we accept it that pain begins to do what it is meant to do, transform us. This is the genius alchemical property behind acceptance. It transmutes. Vulture's medicine asks you to understand that pain, suffering, and trauma hold an energetic power. It is your choice whether to allow that power to attack you or to transmute its energy into your greatest asset. If you choose the latter, within you a hidden gift will be revealed far greater than all your pain. So, I feel like that makes a lot of sense for what we just talked about in the reading. But instead of trying to give you my own interpretation with it, I want you to really listen to the words of that passage and see what resonates most with you, what sticks out to you. And moving on to number 40 with the falcon, victory. Falcon heralds victory on the horizon. She dares to accept all challenges. Now you must focus like falcon on the end goal and discipline yourself to actualize your inner vision. There's no time for mindless activities. Focus like a laser on what needs to be done and do it. Something special is waiting to be developed, but it requires your steadfast commitment. What you most desire may take months or years, but do not rush for completion. Timing will play in your favor if you endure the long journey. Falcon's medicine shares that the key to your victory is discipline. Do not lean on motivation to carry you through, because on your journey, motivation will often vanish for a time, and you must discipline yourself to push through no matter what. What you desire is attainable, and what you long to do in this life is yours, but you must work for it. Falcon's medicine suggests you create a commitment of just 20 minutes a day working towards your goal. Now, more than ever, it is time you must take steadfast action and have unwavering faith you will succeed. Do not give up. Keep going. Something beyond your wildest dreams awaits you to capture it. Falcon's medicine is an honor to have chosen in your spread today. It brings the medicine of victory, but remember, it comes to you through your discipline. So, pile 3. I really hope you enjoyed your reading. I really hope that this resonated and that it helped, that it brought some important things to your attention. I hope that you're able to overcome whatever it is that you're going through. And if you really enjoyed this reading, if you want more like it, I do lots of other readings on like why you doubt yourself, what's your purpose, what is this problem that you need to overcome. So if you enjoyed this specific one, there's a ton more like that on my channel. And if you enjoy my readings, I post about twice a week, so feel free to subscribe and stick around if you wanna. And if you're looking for your own personal reading, there's a link down the description box below to my shop. But without further ado, that's everything that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.